Let's determine the answers for the science test. So I'm going to type here the marking scheme. And let's start. Okay, question 1. Identify the gardening tool shown below. So this is a garden shears. Okay, so it's neither a sickle nor a scissors. Question 2. Which of these is a fruit vegetable? Cabbage is leaves, the carrot is roots, so the tomatoes is the correct answer. It is a fruit. A place where seeds are raised before they are transplanted, okay, onto the main field is called a nursery. Okay, so that is the nursery. We can have seed boxes in a nursery, but the farmland is where the main land is after the seedlings have been transplanted. Next question. The removal of weak and extra seedlings from a nursery bed is called thinning out. So that is thinning out. Pruning is when you are removing unwanted parts of plants, and then transplanting is when you are moving the seedlings from the nursery to the main bed or main farmland. Next question. All the following are cultural practices, except cultural practices are undertaken from planting to harvesting. So we do pest control, we do weeding, all of them are cultural practices, but harvesting is not part of cultural practices. Next question. Which of the following tools is used for stirring the vegetable beds? Now the correct answer here is the hand fork. Even though we can use the other tools to stir the soil, but that is not their main function. Okay, the hand trowel is mainly used for transplanting, and the pickers also has its own function. So the main tool that needs to be used for stirring the soil is the hand fork. Next question. All the following are methods used to propagate plants asexually, except, so asexual means we are not using seeds. Okay, we are using parts of the plant. So bulbs can be used. Bulb is used for propagating onions. We can use suckers. Suckers are used for propagating plantain and bananas. But seeds is sexual. That is, a seed is obtained from fertilization. So seed is sexual, but other parts of the plant being used as asexual or vegetative. Now, next question. The first factor to be considered when deciding to cultivate a particular vegetable is that would be the selection of the land. That is the first thing you need to do. You need to determine the land, the topography and location of the land before you think about any other things such as method of propagation or cultural practices. Which of the following crops is an example of an underground stem? Now, yam is a stem tuber. Okay, so the yam that we eat itself is actually a stem, so that is a stem tuber. Plantain is a sucker, and avocado pear is a fruit. Next section, respiration. Which of the following are the products of respiration? The products of respiration are three, that is energy, carbon dioxide, and water. Energy, carbon dioxide, and water. We take in oxygen and then we give out carbon dioxide. In addition to that, we release energy and also bring out water in the form of water vapor. Okay. Now, during inhalation or breathing in, when you breathe in, the ribs move up and out. So this is true. But when you are breathing out, the ribs moves down and in. Next question. A patient who coughs and spits out blood may be suffering from tuberculosis. So tuberculosis and pneumonia are respiratory diseases, but when you are coughing and spitting out blood, that is tuberculosis. Next question. Which of the following pairs of structures are part of the respiratory system? Pharynx and esophagus. Esophagus is in the digestive system, so it's not in the respiratory system. We have trachea and alveoli, so that is the correct answer, trachea and alveoli. Then fallopian tube and duodenum. Fallopian tube is part of the female reproductive system, and the duodenum is part of the human digestive system. So the answer is trachea and alveoli. Which of the following life processes leads to the production of energy? And that is respiration. The moment you hear respiration, the first word that comes to mind is energy, because respiration is the process of releasing energy from food, with or without oxygen. Photosynthesis is the method by which plants prepare their own food in the presence of sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, etc. And digestion is simply just the breakdown of food for it to be absorbed. Anaerobic respiration involves the use of oxygen. That is false. Anaerobic respiration does not use oxygen. It's rather aerobic respiration which makes use of oxygen. But anaerobic and aerobic respiration are both forms of cellular or internal respiration. Gaseous exchange between air and blood in the lungs takes place in the alveoli. Okay, so when air travels through the trachea to the bronchi to the bronchioles, it goes to the alveoli. The alveoli has a lot of tiny blood vessels. So over there is diffusion of air into the bloodstream, and then also in the opposite direction. So that takes place in the alveoli. The trachea is just a passageway for the air, so it's not meant for that. Now, next question. External respiration in living organisms is also known as gaseous exchange. Okay, so when you are breathing in and breathing out, that is external respiration. But when the food is being burned in the cells to release energy, that one is internal or cellular respiration. The part labeled in the diagram, which is X, that is the trachea. Okay, so that is the trachea, and with the other parts, we can see the lungs, the diaphragm, the nostrils, etc. Next section, energy. Energy stored in food is referred to as chemical energy. Okay, mechanical energy is just the sum of potential and kinetic energy. Sonic energy is another name for sound energy. The form of energy obtained from the earth by the action of hot springs, geysers, and volcanic eruptions is geothermal. Okay, geo means earth, and then thermal means heat, so geothermal energy. Nuclear energy is obtained from nuclear reactions from the nucleus of atoms, and then spring energy, also known as elastic energy. An example of a non-renewable source of energy is a non-renewable source of energy. The sun is renewable, the wind is renewable, but coal is non-renewable. Okay, coal, fossil fuels, etc. are non-renewable. Acceleration due to gravity is approximately equal to 9.8 meters per second squared. So that is true. So sometimes we use 10.0 to represent it. The sum of potential and kinetic energy is mechanical energy. Mechanical energy. Okay. A stone of mass 6,000 grams is fired from a catapult. If the stone travels at 10 meters per second, find its kinetic energy. So let's calculate this quickly. We know that kinetic energy, the formula for kinetic energy is mass times velocity squared all over 2. We are given the mass in grams, so we need to change it to kilograms. So the mass will rather be 6 kilograms. 6,000 grams is equal to 6 kilograms. Okay, so we have 6 for the mass, and then the velocity is already in meters per second, so that will be 10 meters per second. So the V will be 10 squared all over 2. Now I need to square this before I do any cancellation. Very important. So this will be 6 times 100 all over 2. So now I can cancel. My 2 can cancel the 100. I'll get 50. And 60, 6 times 50 will give me 300. So the answer is 300 100 joules. Next question. A coconut of weight 5 kilograms hangs 20 meters above the ground. Calculate the potential energy of the coconut if the acceleration due to gravity is 10 meters per second squared. So for potential energy, to calculate for potential energy, that PE is equal to the mass times the acceleration due to gravity times the height. The mass is already in kilograms, so I'll just write it. And then the acceleration due to gravity is given as 10, so that will be 10. And then the height is already in meters, okay, so that will be 20. So I just calculated this 20 times 10, that will be 200 times 5, and that will be 1000. So the correct answer is 1000 joules. Renewable sources of energy are limited in supply, that is false. The energy resulting from the flow of charged particles is electrical energy. Okay. Then which of the following is not a fossil fuel? Biogas is not a fossil fuel. The standard unit for measuring energy is joule. Okay, so let's submit and view our score. So we have 100 over 100. Okay, so these are the answers for the science test.